What is up, guys? Seth here, back again this week with another episode of Renaissance Resurrection. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 4 reasons why entrepreneurs and investors should learn how to code in today's time. Let's talk about that in 3, 2, 1. So the very first reason that every entrepreneur and investor should learn how to program is because it makes you able to think logically way better. So, in business specifically, as an entrepreneur, you are constantly trying to make logical decisions. You're like, okay, I'm at point A, I want to get to point D, and then eventually to point G, but okay, so how do I get to point B and C first? Like, how do I get to second and third base before I get to a home run? You have to think each step of your business plan through logically for what makes sense next. And how learning how to program helps you with this mindset, this ability to think this way, is because that is all programming is. It is logical thinking. It forces your brain, when you learn how to program, to be able to think like a computer. A computer goes line by line. They say, okay, here's the inputs that I have, right? Here's the different functions, here's the different phases to determining the output that I want. And here's the different variables associated with each one of these situations, and then you have to figure out, okay, how do these all relate to each other? How can I manipulate this data? How can I manipulate these inputs to be able to give me the output that I want as a programmer? And when you can look at business like that, when you can apply that programming, logical thinking to business and say, okay, here's the inputs that I have, how do I need to structure out line by line my business plan so that I can take my inputs and get the output that I want through my logical process? And being able to think like that as a business owner, being able to apply that programming mindset to business, that engineering mindset to business, it's very, very powerful, and it's a very good reason for why entrepreneurs should learn how to program. Now, the second reason that every entrepreneur and investor should learn how to code is that it saves you time through automation. And I know that's a really common argument that you hear, but I have a unique perspective on it that I'll share with you. So I view my time as currency. Like, when people say, what do you spend your time on? Yeah, I view it as spending my time. Like, I'm spending a currency on what I'm doing, right? So because I view my time as currency, I value it more than I value money, because I can make more money, but I cannot make more time, so therefore time is a more precious currency. And so what I like to do is I like to use automation with my programming skills so that I can invest my time like I invest my money. If I take $100 and I put it into a stock and that stock goes up, I get what? I get a ROI, I get a return on investment. If I have a program that I put 2 hours into writing that cuts down the time it takes for me to do something, that's also an investment. It's not an investment of my money, it's an investment of my time, so that I can get an ROTI, a return on time invested. So for example, I wrote a program for my business that took a process that took me 12 minutes to do, cut it down to only taking me 3 minutes to do. So by writing this program that took me about 2 hours to write, I cut the amount of time necessary to complete this one function in the business down to 25% of its original time. Now, every minute that I put into that 2 hours of writing that program, once I save 2 hours of time by using that program, I'm getting a return on time invested. I'm saving time that I would have had to have spent doing that monotonous thing over and over. And so you can apply this as an entrepreneur, as an investor. If you have programming skills and you can write programs to automate things for yourself, as I have, you get a return on time invested. As an investor, there's so many monotonous calculations that you have to perform in order to evaluate a company. I've just written a slew of programs that just ask for the inputs, and it does all the calculations for me. All I got to do is input numbers from companies' financial statements, and then I can very, very quickly and very easily determine what a good investment is for myself, because I've utilized software rather than my own brain, because a computer will always be able to perform linear calculations faster than the human mind. And then as an entrepreneur, if you can, your time is money as an entrepreneur. Running a business takes a lot of time. If you're really trying to grow a big business, 60, 80 hours a week, if not more, is put into that. So if you can get some ROTI, some return on time invested, by learning programming skills and being able to automate things for yourself, it's going to help your business to grow a whole lot faster. The third reason why I believe that every entrepreneur and investor should learn how to program is that it enables you to be more creative. Now, I don't think of creativity in this general sense of how it's normally defined, and creativity is defined as the use of the imagination or original ideas, especially in the production of an artistic work. That's the normal definition of creativity, but like when I think of someone who is creative, my mind thinks of it as creative. Someone who is creative creates consistently, and as an entrepreneur, that is what you are. You are someone who creates something. You're creating a business, you're creating a service, you're creating a product. You're bringing something into existence which normally would not have existed. And so what programming allows you to do is it allows you to be more creative. It allows you to create more things that are more powerful, so you can utilize software to create something that is more valuable than almost any other sort of product that's available today, or more useful than any sort of tool that you have available to you. And just knowing how to program increases your capacity as an entrepreneur to be creative, or as an investor to create different tools for yourself. I literally look at like all the different financial concepts that I know, and the different financial jargon that I know, and all the different ways that I can apply math to financial statements to break down what is and is not a good investment. I view that as like tools in my mental toolkit. And if you're just trying to calculate things that are a good investment by looking at their finances, doing all the calculations yourself, that's like trying to put a house together with a screwdriver. But I come in, if I have programs and things that I've created with my enhanced creative skills, that's like me trying to, like, if I can come in and build a house like with a power drill, just you can't even compete with someone who's created more tools for themselves. My mental toolkit gets expanded by my ability to use a computer. So that's just the third reason why entrepreneurs and investors should learn how to program, is that it allows you to be more creative. Now, the fourth and final reason why I believe that every entrepreneur and investor should learn how to code is because it enables you to develop better relationships and connections with your IT people. And the reason that this is important is because if you plan on actually growing a big business in today's time, like, I don't mean a small mom and pop type business. I'm talking like if you actually want to build a business that goes potentially across the country and potentially international, if you want to build that type of business as an entrepreneur, technology is an absolute necessity. Having your own technology. In order for you to have a big business today, you have to have at least some sort of management information system, or potentially an app, or some sort of very, very expensive and very, very advanced technology if you are a large business. And so because technology is such an integral part of every big business today, if you plan on running a big business, you are going to have two choices. You either have to learn the technological skills yourself so that you can start your product and the technology for it on your own accord, or you're going to have to find somebody who has those skills, like Steve Jobs found Steve Wozniak. But you see, the difference is Steve Jobs had the ability to communicate with his IT people. Even though he wasn't the main guy that was programming stuff, he knew the technology. And so no one can really pull one over on him. And so that's my point, is for you to be able to build a big business in today's time, the ability to communicate with your IT people and explain to them what you want, and know the capacities of the technologies and the softwares that you're using, and know the potentialities, and be able to contribute ideas to your team and communicate and help on projects, that's invaluable if you actually want to build a big business today. You have to be able to understand the technology, and being able to understand technology will enable you to have a vision and capacity far beyond what other people think is possible, simply because you know you can use software to be able to force multiply your business, and then have that ability to communicate with the people who are creating that software very effectively and sharing the vision with them. Alright guys, that is all for the video today. I really hope you enjoyed it. In summary, the 4 reasons why every entrepreneur and investor should learn how to program is: 1, it sharpens your logical thinking skills, which are absolutely necessary to kill it in business and as an investor. 2nd reason is it saves you time by being able to automate things and write programs, which will give you a return on the time that you invest in them. The 3rd reason why is because it gives you an increased capacity to be creative, to create new tools and softwares which make your life easier or your business's life easier. And then the fourth thing is that it enables you to better communicate with your IT and programmers and your developers of the technology for your business, given that it's absolutely necessary to have those people on your team in today's time. So that is all for the video today, guys. Like I said, I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please drop a like down below. If you know somebody who would like to hear this information, please share it with them. And stay connected with me. My link tree is in the bio down below. You'll find all my platforms on there, so follow me on social media so you don't miss the announcement for my next video. Other than that, guys, this has been Seth with Renaissance Resurrection. I really hope you guys have good luck in the future with cultivating technology to be able to help you in your ventures as an investor or as an entrepreneur. That's all, everybody. I'm out.